Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with a short story, The Luncheon, by Somerset Maugham. Actually, the story is about a writer, his pen, and the awkward moment he was stuck in. I was shocked when she beckoned me in the theater, and in answer to her beckoning, I went over during the interval and sat down beside her. It was long since I had last seen her, and if someone had not mentioned her name, I hardly think I would have recognized her. I really didn't. I really didn't recognize her, but she addressed me brightly. Yes, she addressed me brightly. Well, it has been many years since we first met. How time does fly. We are none of us getting younger. Do you remember the first time I saw you? And you remembered? Yes. And you asked me to luncheon. Luncheon? Did I remember? Actually, I really didn't remember. But I kept on thinking and started roaming in the lanes of my past memories. That is about 20 years. It was 20 years ago, and I was living in Paris. I had a tiny apartment in Latin Quarter overlooking a cemetery, and I was earning barely enough money to keep body and soul together. Yes, I earned just a little to keep myself alive, a very little amount. She had read a book of mine and had written to me about it. And as I had been a writer, now for my surprise, actually, I was extremely happy to receive a letter from a female friend. I answered, yes, I answered, thanking her. And again I received from her another letter saying she was passing through Paris, yes, my hometown, and would like to have a chat with me. But her time was limited, and the only free moment she had was on the following Thursday. She was spending the morning at the Luxembourg Hotel, and she asked me if I would give her a little luncheon at Foyet's afterwards. Foyet's restaurant! Oh God, Foyet's the most expensive restaurant. Foyet is a restaurant at which the French senators eat, and it was so far beyond my means that I had never even thought of going there. But really, I was flattered. Yes, I was flattered, and I was too young to have learned to say no to people. I started preparing my budget as I had only 80 francs to last me the rest of the month, and a modest luncheon should not cost more than 15. That is what I thought. I started thinking if I just cut out coffee for the next 2 weeks, I could manage well enough. Yes, I could manage. So I decided and answered that I would meet my friend by correspondence at Foyet's on Thursday at 12:30. Now the day came, yes, the day came, and I was so excited to meet her. But actually, when I met her, she was not so young as I expected, and in appearance imposing rather than attractive. She was in fact a woman of 40, I must say, though it was a charming age. And she gave me the impression of having more teeth, white and larger, and even than were necessary for any practical purpose. Yes, what I meant is she laughed a lot and talked a lot. Yes, she was talkative, but since she seemed inclined to talk about me, about my writings, I was prepared to be an attentive listener, and I gave my ears to her. I was startled now when the waiter came with the bill. I was startled when the bill came. My God, for the prices were a great deal higher than I had anticipated. Yes, beyond my imagination. But she reassured me, I never eat anything for luncheon, dear. Not to worry. I really don't eat anything for luncheon. Oh, don't be so in that way. Don't say that. I answered generously. Actually, this was the man who was speaking from my side. I never eat more than one thing. I think people eat far too much nowadays. A little fish, perhaps? I wonder if they have any salmon. I think if they had. Well, I started thinking as it was early in the year for salmon and it was not on the bill of fare, but I asked the waiter if there was any, hoping to say no, but he replied, Yes, sir. A beautiful salmon had just come in. It was the first they had got out. I ordered it for my guest. The waiter asked her if she would have something while it was being cooked, ma'am. No, not at all. Actually, I never eat more than one thing. Unless, okay, if you insist, I must say, if you have a little caviar, I never mind to have caviar while it's being cooked. Caviar, oh God. My heart sank a little. I knew I could not afford caviar. But I could not very well tell her that. How could I tell her that? I told the waiter by the means to bring caviar. Actually, for myself, I chose the cheapest dish on the menu, and that was a mutton chop. I couldn't afford, I knew. My budget would never allow me to have caviar or salmon, but to impress my guest, I ordered only the mutton chop, being the cheapest dish. By my order, my guest was also startled and she reacted in a very unusual way. Oh, I think you are unwise to eat meat. I don't know how you can expect to work after eating heavy things like chops. I don't believe in overloading my stomach. I was shocked. Come on, you have ordered like she had ordered salmon and then caviar, and for my dish she was so surprised. Anyways, I kept quiet. Then came the question of drink. Oh, I never drink anything for luncheon. Oh, never. I was so happy to hear this. I promptly said, Neither do I. Okay, waiter, we don't need any drink. But she interrupted and said, Except white wine. Yes, she proceeded, and I was unable to speak a little word. These French white wines are so light, they are wonderful for the digestion. What would you like? She just asked me, but I was speechless. She gave me a bright and amicable flash of her white teeth. But, and as well as what I said, my doctor won't let me drink anything but champagne. This was the reply of my guest. Yes, she said that I only drink champagne and nothing else. Oh, I fancy I turned a trifle pale as I knew about my budget and I was so much horrified. I ordered half a bottle and I mentioned casually that my doctor had absolutely forbidden me to drink champagne. What? Oh, why your doctor has asked you to do so? Anyways, then what are you going to drink then? Oh, me, water. Yes, water would work for me. I kept on watching her. She ate the caviar and she ate the salmon. Yes, the lady who really didn't eat anything for the luncheon. This was what she asked me. She talked gaily of art and literature and music, but I wondered just about the bill. Yes, I wondered what the bill would come to. When my mutton chop arrived, my guest took me quite seriously to task. She looked at my order and she just said, "Oh, look, I understood. I see that you are in the habit of eating heavy luncheon, dear. I'm sure that is only a mistake. Why don't you follow my example and just eat one thing? I'm sure you would feel ever so better for it." I was surprised. "I'm only going to eat one thing," I said, as the waiter came again with the bill of fare. She waved him aside with an airy gesture. "No, no, I never eat anything for luncheon. Just a bite. I never want more than that. And I eat that more as an excuse for conversation than anything else. Like, I really don't like to have anything for luncheon. I couldn't possibly eat anything more unless they had some of those giant asparagus. I should be sorry to leave Paris without having some of them. Yes, I would really love to have those asparagus if they had." Again, my heart sank. I was just thinking, look at this lady. When she entered, she said that she never had anything for luncheon and now she's busy ordering. And I just kept on wondering about my bill fare. When she ordered asparagus, my heart sank. Actually, asparagus, yes, those asparagus which had been my dream. Because I knew very well, I had seen them in the shops and I knew they were horribly expensive. My mouth had often watered at the sight of them, but my pocket never allowed. But being the host, I asked the waiter, "Madam wants to know if you have any of those giant asparagus." I tried, yes, I prayed to Lord and tried with all my might to will him to say no. "Oh God, please, waiter, deny it." But a happy smile spread over his broad priest-like face, and he assured me that they had some so large, so splendid, so tender that it was a marvel. "I'm not in the least hungry," my guest sighed, "but if you insist, okay, I don't mind having some asparagus." But actually, did I really insisted her? Did I really ask her to have them? I was so much shocked. Well, being the host, I again ordered them. "Aren't you going to have any?" "No, no, I never eat asparagus." How to say no, I only meant by myself. I know there are people who don't like them. The fact is, you ruin your palate by all the meat you eat. Got it? That is, you kindly follow my example and learn what to have in the luncheon. Just one thing. I was so startled. Did she really order only one thing? Anyways, we waited for the asparagus to be cooked. Panic seized me. It was not a question now how much money I should have left over the rest of the month, but would I be able to pay the bill? Yes, I think so. I had enough to pay the bill. It would be mortifying to find myself 10 francs short and be obliged to borrow from my guest. I could not bring myself to do that. I knew exactly how much I had. I started budgeting them. I made up my mind that if the bill came to more, I would jump up with a dramatic cry and say, oh God, what happened?" She may ask me, but I knew how to do the drama. So if the bill came just beyond my expectation, I would say my pocket had been picked. Oh, and I would cry. Of course, it would be awkward if she had not enough either to pay the bill. The only thing would be to leave my watch and say I would come back and pay later. I was just thinking about those horrible events and those moments, but nothing to be done. But later on, while I was just thinking about all these ideas, the waiter came with the asparagus. They were really enormous, succulent, and appetizing. The smell of melted butter tickled my nostrils. Mmm, so yummy they seemed. As I watched the abandoned women thrust them down her throat in a large, voluminous mouthfuls. In my polite way, I discoursed on the condition of the drama of the Balkans. At last, she finished. Oh God, this was the only lady who said, I don't eat anything in luncheon. Anyways, I just asked, coffee? Now her reply startled me. It kept me in a very disgusting way. Yes, just an ice cream and coffee. I was past caring now, so I ordered coffee for myself and ice cream and coffee for her. You know, there's one thing I thoroughly believe in. As she was just eating ice cream, she kept on speaking. One should always get up from a meal feeling one could eat a little more. Are you? This sentence again gave me a big surprise, and in a very friendly manner, I asked, Are you still hungry? Oh, no, I'm not hungry, you see. I don't eat luncheon. I have a cup of coffee in the morning and then dinner. But I never eat more than one thing for luncheon. I was just speaking for you, like the way you have your luncheon, mutton chops, meat and all. So just take this in your possession. Oh, I see. I was really very in a terrible condition. Now, at last, when I was just thinking I'm over with the luncheon, a terrible thing happened. While we were waiting for the coffee, the head waiter with a smile on his face came up to us bearing a large basket full of huge peaches. But surely peaches were not in season then. Oh God, Lord knew what they cost. Why did he bring over here? I knew too a little later for my guest going on with a conversation absent-mindedly took one. Oh God. I was just thinking, was it really necessary for her to have that peach as well? But anyways, in a very absent-minded, she took one. You see, you are full with your stomach with a lot of meat. Yes, only one miserable little chop. This was the only reason for her to keep on taunting me. That's why she said, Look, you see, you have filled your stomach with a lot of meat and you can't eat anymore. But I've just had a snack and I shall enjoy a peach. I was startled. A snack? She ate salmon, caviar, ice cream, asparagus, coffee, champagne, and she was saying she had just a snack? Anyways, at the last, the bill came, and when I paid it, I found that I had only enough for a quite inadequate tip. That's it. When I just paid the tip, her eyes rested for an instant on the 3 francs. I left for the waiter and I knew that she thought me a mean. Yes, because being in Foyet's hotel restaurant, it was too mean to pay just 3 francs. But when I walked out of the restaurant, I had the whole month before me and not a penny in my pocket. Her last words, follow my example, were still telling my ears. They were tinkling in my ears. and never eat more than one thing for luncheon. I also replied, "Yes, I'll do better then." I retorted, "I'll eat nothing for dinner tonight." Ha ha ha, humorous. You're quite a humorous, dear. But I have had my revenge at last. Yes, I was happy to see her after 20 years. I could not believe that. Yes, I must not say I'm a vindictive man. I really never take revenges. But when the immortal God take a hand in the matter, it is pardonable to observe the result with the complacency. Yes, I was really happy, and it seemed as I've taken the revenge as she weighed 21 stone. That is 134.4 kilograms. I was happy to see that finally it was all done.